You are about to enter the Red and Rev Sports Show experience. Get ready for some real sports talk from some real sports fans who were real sports athletes who have sports knowledge.
Ah, whew. It feels so good to wake up this morning. Episode 191. I thought about discussing things that I didn't understand, and now I just discussing things that make me happy. I am so happy the NBA playoffs is in full effect. I am so happy that my Hawks and Lakers are balling out, both leading that series 2-1. I am so happy that we get to discuss more Julio Jones news. I am so happy that my Braves didn't have to play yesterday because who knows, they probably would have lost. I am even so happy that our special guest Shelby is here because I'm in the mood that even she wants to tell today. I'm happy to be here with my buddy Rev. Hopefully, Coach will join us soon. Hopefully, all our fans will be here. It's Memorial Day weekend. I'm not wasting any more time. Let my happiness continue. Episode 191. Let's begin.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Red and Rev Sports Show featuring Coach Patrick Thomas with our special guest, Shelby. We're coming to you live from the ATL show. Giving you real sports talk because we are real sports fans who are real sports athletes.
I don't think Shelby said shouted.
Real sports knowledge. So come on, hang out with your boys, Red, Rev, Coach may be coming on a little later, and Shelby, our wonderful female guest, as we exercise episode 191, Sports Talk Style. And normally it's our custom to turn over our numbers attention to Coach Patrick Thomas, but we're going to try Shelby out since Coach is on the sideline right now. Shelby, we know we just put this on you about 10 minutes ago. So what you got for us?
I got the 1991 Braves. It was the year they went worst to first. It was crazy. I think we all remember where we were when Sid slid. I remember Skip Carey, Braves win, Braves win, Braves win. And I just remember the absolute craziness at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. It was at I think it was on TBS, Channel 17, for those who are Atlanta natives who didn't have cable. That might be me. So we watched it, and we were excited, and our team was worst at first, and it was crazy. It was absolutely insane. The city was insane, and shout out to the 1991 Braves.
Good one. See?
Now you fooled us. You fooled us right there. You tried to act like you didn't have nothing. You were trying to lower our expectations. That's what she did. She tried to fool us.
Yeah,
so we clown her.
I gotta get credit because I can tell you, I gave her the year. I said, Shelby, you ain't got nothing for 1991. Did that give you a memory or something?
Absolutely not.
You knew what you were gonna say from the beginning, didn't you?
Yeah.
See?
Yes,
Yeah,
she was smart because she know Coach has been doing a decent job recently since he's not been dealing with any Pittsburgh Steelers the past 2 weeks. And she wanted to lower our expectations so that if she came up on the lower end, that we wouldn't be clowning her. So
hey,
we're on to
I
you.
give her credit, Shelby. The daytime Emmy nominations are coming soon. Your acting skills are marvelous, sweetie. Cause she sitting there pretending like she having a hard time.
Yeah,
oh
man.
my God, I can't find anything. Let me say something about 1991 though. First of all, that was a classic. I can't believe the Braves were part of what baseball folks consider a great World Series. I mean, that 1991 World Series is still considered like a classic to this day.
When they lost to the
1991 was the first year I got cable television. February 14th, 1991.
You were a little late to the game, bro.
I know.
You remember the date?
I was so happy. I was so happy. I came home and my sister said, Eric, boy, we got cable. I was like, ooh.
Wow.
I can't go into how we got cable. I'm not sure about the statute of limitations.
Yeah, we know you was stealing it illegally.
So y'all rigged cable over there in the McDonald household, huh? Oh my
goodness. It was the Hill household, and my dad knew people. So.
Okay. See, I guess I was a little fortunate. I had cable when I lived in New York, and I moved here in '89 with cable. So I've been having cable ever since I was a little kid. So
see, that's what we call rich folks, real back in the day. Y'all rich folks, man. They got cable television. They used to try to stun on us back in the day, Shelby. You go over their house, ooh, I got cable.
BT, MTV.
Yeah, try to stun on folks and stuff. And we go home with our little 2, 5, and 11. And like you say,
17.
Channel 36 and
46 and 69.
Channel 36 and 46 used to keep us busy though. All the movies they had.
Yeah. All right, I didn't see the show turning in this direction, but hey, it's that. You never know what's gonna happen with the Red and Red Sports Show. But let me just say real quickly, welcome everybody to episode 191. If y'all don't mind, send up a prayer for Coach. When we were getting ready for the show, he wasn't feeling the best, so hopefully through some time regrouping, putting some fluids in his body. He may be feeling up to joining us a little late. That's why he's not joining us right now. But whenever we get the cue, we'll try to bring him on. So y'all lift up a prayer for Coach. He was ready and willing, but we just said, man, hold out for right quick. Get yourself together, and we'll see if you'll be able to come back. So lift up a prayer for Coach if you don't mind. Let me turn my attention real quick before we start this show off to the best group of fans in sports talk history. Let's welcome Reverend Knight Nation. My Reverend Knights, rise up, stand up. We're looking forward. We need y'all to have a great show, and we're glad to have you. Glad to have you, Miss Williams. Vincent Woodruff, the Vice President of Reverend Knight Nation, is right there, ready to rock and roll. Big Woodyard in Hawks fandom mode. What's up, Kelly Kell? Oh, look at the Hawks fans are showing up and showing out today. Yeah, y'all are showing up, showing out. Armani is in the house. Thank you, Armani, for doing a splendid job with us last week. You did a great job, bro. Great job.
Thomas in the house.
Vincent says Sip Bream took forever to get around those bases.
Yeah. No, hey, them knees, baby. Them knees.
I think he was safe. I was actually at that game because I used to work concessions. I was at Mays High at the time, and Mr. Ellison's. You remember Mr. Ellison? Red? Yeah, Mr. Ellison Telecommunications. We had a group.
I had them.
We had a media club called Take One. Right, and Take One was raising concessions, money for concessions, and we had finished it like by the seventh inning. I remember watching the game, seeing Sid Bream come across that plate. Man, Fulton County Stadium was rocking and rolling when that happened. I was there. I remember that very fondly.
I have to admit, sad to say, real. I turned the TV off after the second out.
Oh, man. You thought Tim Wake.
I was to Shelby. I was 12. My mom came in the room.
But you thought the knuckleballer Tim Wakefield was going to shut him down.
Wasn't nobody on base. It was 2 outs. Nobody was on base. Yeah. And next thing I know, my mama come in the room next morning and say, "Aaron, you know the Braves won. We went to the World Series." I was like, "What?" But thankfully we had cable. I could turn on ESPN and see the highlights right away.
All right, since you tuned out
for having cable.
We can't hear nothing else, man. You tuned out, so you on mute. You're on mute. I can't let you talk anymore since you gave up on the Braves at 12 years old. Now just play. There we go. Welcome, Joe Black, man. Welcome, Maurice Thrower. What's going on in Midtown Atlanta? And Vincent back off. Of course, Red taking credit for something else. Red will take credit for the sunrise.
Well, it's up kind of bright now today.
Oh, man. Here it is. Dang, Red Angel, you missed out on those Yo MTV Rap early episodes.
As much as MTV repeated them, I called them.
Shelby's dad had that cable line extended from the neighbor's house over to there.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, and Kelly being honest, she didn't have cable either. Man, I didn't know how.
Club, Kelly.
I didn't know how fortunate I was. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, man. That wasn't about a household.
Thank you, Vincent, man. Showing Coach some love. Thomas Holcomb checking in from the Octopus Hang Gliding Cotillion in Rolling Fork, Mississippi. Hey, man. Stay safe in Mississippi, man. Black Lives Matter. Stay safe. Stay safe. All right, man. Reverend Knights.
I don't even know. I don't even know what that is. But okay.
Oh man, y'all. That's right, Reverend Knights fans.
Welcome to the club.
About it. And here it is. Last one. Red was a fair weather fan. Even your boy Vincent giving it to you this morning already.
I'm ready for it. I ain't ready for it all today. So bring it, everybody. I can take it.
He came locked and loaded.
He stay locked and loaded.
Oh, man. All right, let's get ready to get into some Red and Rev sports talk. Here we go. Let's go right at the beginning. Dope, Nope, and Cope. We're going to start with our lady friend, Mr. Shelby, to start us off with Dope, Nope, and Cope. What you got for us, Shelby? What are you doping on?
I am doping on Simone Biles. If you have not seen her do the Yurchenko double pike, it is amazing. The amount of power that she hits that vault and she's flipping, it's a blind landing. It is incredibly dangerous, but she just does it with perfection. Her her outfit actually had a sequence goat on the back of it. And I said, yes, as they see you leave, they see the goat. She is the true goat.
All right. Oh, yeah. Red, what are you doping on, sir?
I'm doping on the high school graduation of senior Chancellor Caruth. We all know Chancellor Caruth. He's the son of one Ray Caruth. We all remember that story, how if it was up to Ray Caruth, Chancellor wouldn't even be here to this day. So my dope moment is to Chancellor Caruth for continuing to live his best life, the best life he can. Dope moment to his maternal grandmother for raising that young man and continuing to raising that young man to become the best man he could be. No thanks to his deadbeat, really piece of crap father, but dope, Chancellor. Dope to you, young man. Thank God that you are still here, and dope to you for graduating high school, and dope to you for your future and continuing to live life.
All right,
We
man.
started so high. We started so high, and then
Yeah, Red. You kind of minimized the moment talking about his daddy. You could have left his daddy out. We know the story because you were definitely on.
You were right there. You were right there.
Yeah, you kind of took away from the moment, bringing his daddy into the equation. Yeah, sometimes you got to leave some things out. I mean, it was. I was looking at Shelby's face. You were making Shelby proud. You were making Shelby proud.
I was so impressed.
I'm glad I ruined the moment because I'm not trying to impress Shelby at all.
No, man. No.
It was a really good dose.
Yeah. It caught me off. Like
I'm still proud of myself. So
but man, I didn't expect that one. I didn't even think about that, man. That was an excellent take.
It was heartfelt. It was touching.
Yeah.
And then you went off the rails.
Oh well, you gotta have the complete story.
Man. Well, you said you had made mention of the story without making mention of the story. You said we all remember the story. You know, if it was left up to his dad, he wouldn't have been living. You know, you kind of hit it already there. So, I mean, in that situation, less would have been more. But that was a great take, though. Great take. Let me move on. I am doping on Michael Jordan. I am not the biggest Michael Jordan fan, never been the biggest Michael Jordan fan, but I got to show him some love since he donated $1 million to my college alma mater, Morehouse College, towards the journalism program that Chris Webber is implementing at Morehouse. So big ups to MJ for donating $1 million to my alma mater, Morehouse College.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
There we go. Awesome. All right, Red, what are you noping on, sir?
I am noping on one. Jalen Smith for the Dallas Cowboys. Dude, you wanted to change your number so bad that you paid $500,000. It's worth that much to change your number. I'm saying nope to that, dude. NFL players contracts are not guaranteed. You guys really don't do well financially after you retire. I sure hope you got good business sense, but that move right there proves to me you don't. $500,000 to change your number. Sorry, man. No way. No how. Never ever.
Oh, come on!
Come on! I actually was listening to that report on Outside the Lines this morning, and he could just wait a year and have it for free.
Now makes the now he looks even double.
Yeah,
$500K.
I just couldn't understand it. All right, it's on me, and I am noping on one. I had his name up here, Zach Plesac, pitcher for the Cleveland Indians, who allegedly broke his thumb on his pitching hand trying to rip off his undershirt, and now he's down for 10 days on the disabled list. As of right now, he's not scheduled for surgery. So that's why I put in quotes, allegedly broke his thumb trying to rip off his shirt, trying to do his Hulk Hogan impersonation. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
But he is
Come on.
he is really he
That is
is really
hilarious.
Oh,
he is really embarrassing his uncle, man.
That is hilarious. Sorry.
That I mean, come on, man. Somebody black, I don't think could get away with that. But
No.
let's press on. Red.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sorry,
No,
Shelby. I'm sorry,
mother.
Shelby. Oh, you Shelby. Okay.
I am noping on Janoris Jenkins, leaving your Rolls Royce in the economy lot at Atlanta Airport. How stupid can you be? We have people who leave their cars running and people jump in them. You left a Rolls Royce in the economy lot, not the daily lot. You didn't valet. In the economy lot? You were trying to get that car stolen.
Wow. Wow.
You have got to be kidding.
That's crazy. That's crazy. All right.
Now, what's the difference? I'm talking about, like, is that like a lot where you just
Yeah.
anybody has access to
Okay.
or something?
Go ahead,
The,
Shelby.
eco-
School.
the economy lot is the cheapest place to pay. It is also the furthest place from the airport. You have the daily,
That's the place
the
right out
economy,
across the street from the airport, right?
right. The economy is all the way out there.
All the
It's
way back.
about
Like,
Man, yeah,
a
he
10-minute
he's a
walk.
dummy.
yeah, like
He's
folk
an
be taking
idiot.
like
Yeah.
sometimes folk got to get in the cart just to get closer to get into the
Yeah.
airport. Yeah.
Oh
That's
man,
how far the walk is. And
he's
you know,
dumb.
you know, if you got the money to pay for a Rolls Royce, then you need to put it in the best parking situation. Period.
I park my car in the daily lot. When I flew before, if my little broke book can afford it, how in the world he can't
Yeah.
afford it?
Or
Exactly.
take an Uber or have
Yeah.
somebody drop you off. I haven't parked at the airport in
In
40
years.
years. I
Yeah,
just have somebody drop me off because I don't want to leave my car there because you don't
seriously,
know. You
Yeah.
have no idea.
dude.
And the economy lot is left out to the elements. At least in the daily lot, you're in the parking deck.
Right.
I'm with you, dude. Just wherever your car at, just leave it. You probably had a girlfriend's house. Just leave it at your girlfriend's house and take an Uber to the airport. I mean, dog, are you right? This dude, he the dummy of the week, really.
All right, let's go into our cope moment. And I am coping on the fact that this will probably be the last few days that I can say Julio Jones will be an Atlanta Falcon. For come Wednesday, it's looking more and more that my guy, arguably the best Atlanta Falcon to ever wear the uniform, will no longer be an Atlanta Falcon. And it hurts my heart to say that. Bye-bye, Julio. Rest in Falcons peace. You fought the good wide receiver fight while you were here. I'm still going to be a fan, depending upon what team you get traded to. It should be Matt Ryan and not you. But nevertheless, man, thank you for the good memories. I'm out. Shelby, what are you coping on?
I'm coping on the fact that I'm not sure that the Olympics are going to go off this year. Right now, USA has pretty much put an advisory on travel to Japan. Read Tokyo is in Japan. That's where the Olympics are. I know geography is not really your ministry. And so I don't know if it's going to happen. And I'm a huge Olympics USA fan, and I don't really
awesome.
watch the winter, but I watch the Summer Olympics. And so I don't know if USA is even going to go.
Wow. That's unfortunate right there. And it was already postponed 1 year because it was
Right.
supposed to take place last year due to COVID. And now, wow.
Because
Wow.
the rates in Japan are skyrocketing again, the COVID rates.
It looks like it's going to be canceled, and it looks like we probably won't see the Olympics again until 2024. That's unfortunate. All right, Red, what are you coping on, man?
I'm coping with, and as every other Laker fan is coping with, Anthony Davis hobbling, falling, wincing, grabbing. I mean, on every freaking play, man. Dude, you already are one of the most injury prone, one of the most brittle big men in NBA history. Do you really have to be so theatrical and act out all these moments every time? I mean, every little nick you get, you're grabbing your leg, wincing your face. Ooh, Like, dude, give it a rest, man. Come on. We already know that you're injury prone. You don't have to act out every little piece of pain that you get on the floor. I mean, every second it looked like you this close to being out again. Just, dude, stop with all the theatrics, man. You already know how important you are to our championship run. If you're not hurt, if you're not that hurt where you got to come out the game, save the theatrics. Thank you.
Is he Greg Oden? He could be Greg Oden 2.0.
I mean, every little play, he
No,
is hobbling,
we can't do
limping.
that, Shelby. We can't do that. Anthony Davis has been accomplished. He's accomplished a few things in the league. We can't put him to Greg Odom. At least
He was
played.
almost there.
Greg Odom missed seasons at a time. And Anthony Davis gets hurt during the season, but at least he plays a good portion of the season. So that's how I'll distinguish that. And plus, he did help the Lakers win a championship last year. We can't deny it.
Thankfully. I don't know how we got through that.
All right, let's see what the Rev Knights are talking about. I know they are fired up. I've been seeing their posts come through. They're dope, nope, and copes. So let's see what they're talking about. Let me put that back up so people know what they're talking about. Let's see. Where are we? All right, here we go. Miss Ellie Von Williams, Hawks are showing the Knicks that the Knicks are, I think you want to say overrated. Yeah, the Knicks are overrated. I got you. All right.
Miss Williams, what I tell you about that morning drink?
Oh, look at you, man. Don't talk about your mom's.
I'm just playing. Miss Williams don't messing with her.
Shelby, Vincent Woodruff is in your amen corner. Simone Biles is the GOAT. Vincent is doping on Phil Mickelson being the oldest to win a major in golf. I was going to go there, but I had to give Michael Jordan his props since he gave some money to my school. Maurice Thrower dope in the atmosphere at State Farm Arena last night. The Hawks fans showed out last night. Yes, we did. I was there. No doubt about it. Thomas is doping on Phil Mickelson as well. Kelly and Cole, they penalized Simone Biles because she does difficult stunts that the other athletes can't do, for sure. I think that's sort of that racism, gymnastic racism going on. Vincent Woodruff, great shout out, Red. Chancellor Carew defying the odds in spite of his sperm donor. That's an interesting way of talking about his dad, in a way. Armani Newsom doping on Red. Took it. Good stuff, Red. My brother has cerebral palsy, so it definitely hits home for me. See, Red, everybody was, that might have been your dopest take ever in Red and Red Sports Show history. And we almost have 200 episodes. Yeah.
Took long enough.
Appreciate it, y'all.
Yeah. All right. And then Chardin didn't mind Red taking that detour.
I just wanted to get the complete stuff. I mean, we
got the complete story, man. We already know who Caruth is. That the name Caruth says it all.
You're right.
We already know where we're going.
And let's not remember where they found this coward in the trunk of somebody's car. Dude, you are a freaking coward, man. Sorry. This story really bothered me. I mean, this story really was. I just really took this story personal back in the day.
It's a blessing what Chancellor has overcome, and obviously God has a major purpose for his life. There's no doubt about that. Armani is noping on Tua, you my guy, but why would you come out and say I didn't really know the play? Red, you made reference to that. Yeah, that.
Oh my God, we got two dummies of the week.
Yeah, he's already inviting himself to be replaced as the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. No doubt about it. Joe Black fans in New York and Philly, we're going to be talking about that after a while. No doubt about it. Miss Ellie Von Williams noping on the mayor of New York, negative comment on Trae Young, stating he played wrong. Thomas Holcomb noping on Stephen A. Smith. He's about as regressive as Vincent Woodruff noping on Janoris Jenkins getting his Rolls Royce stolen from Atlanta Hartsfield Economy parking lot. Bruh, have you heard of Uber? Yeah, you were on the same page as Shelby right there. And Vincent makes the acknowledgement. Shelby took his note. Maurice Thrower noping with these fans who spit and throw stuff on athletes. There's no place for that in sports. We'll be talking about that in just a minute. Shelby and Vincent got that Red and Rare Sports Zone going on this morning. We see it.
They always on the same page.
No, we just don't like you.
Sue and Marie
glad about
Hines come up. Janoris hired driver. Amani is coping on Julio Jones saying, I'm out of here, man. That stings. I feel you. I thought about you when I saw it on Undisputed, when I heard Julio say that, I immediately thought about Amani because I mean, Amani, I'm going to reach out to you when the trade takes place because I'm concerned about your sports health. I'm going to reach out to you. I'm gonna be there for you. I'm gonna be your sports pastoral care counselor because you were struggling about talking about that last week on the show. So I got you, bro. I got you, bro. No need to give me an offering for my services. All right. All right. Vincent is coping. The Heat are about to be gone from the playoffs. Sorry, Maurice. Today might be their last day. Thomas Holcomb coping on the International Gymnastics Federal will continue to hate on Simone Biles. Yeah. Good morning, Miss Harris. All right. Thank you for letting us know why you were late. Vincent Woodruff, for a second there, while Rev was giving his note, I was waiting for Boys a Minute play. It's so hard to say.
That would have been perfect right there.
Yeah, that would have been that's good video production right there. I used to be on top of my A game with those kind of sound bites, man.
Come on, man, gotta get the music back, man.
We're gonna get there. Maurice Thor Copen disappointed how lame the Miami Heat have played against the Bucks. They're on their last legs tonight. You think? Red, leave AD alone. We need his game. All right. All right, and yeah, tell her, better late than never, Vincent. That's a good message to mother, dear. Vincent said, please, they hating on the GOAT because those other women can't do what she can do. Yep. Kelly said, we really don't need to watch the Miami Heat get that. Throwing shade at. Oh, man.
She said it needs to be over in 3 games. She don't even want them to play a game. Now, this is funny right here.
Breaking news, Anthony Davis injured his eyelash when he opened his eyes.
That was funny.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Joe Black, Uncle Nate costing the Hawks from being 3-0. I'm sure Red will get to that in just a moment. Vincent said they placed him on eyebrow IR. And Miss Williams gave you a message, Red. You better watch yourself. She gave you a message right there. Maurice said he's being like Jesse Jackson. He's keeping hope alive barely. Vincent Woodruff called somebody a big dummy. Let's see. Let's get the thank you, Rev. Armani might break another remote. I got you, man. I'm reaching out to you, Armani. As soon as it hits, man, I'm calling you. I'm dead serious. No problem, Miss Williams. Sister Ellie Von Williams, I got you from the Eminem Prayer Fellowship. You know I got you. All right. And that's all from Dope, Nope, and Co. Let's move on. And you know how we got to start our show off today. It's all about that basketball life. And let's, as Vincent Woodruff would say, let's cue Curtis Blow. Here we go, NBA playoffs. We're talking basketball, first round of the NBA playoffs, and we are now a week into the playoffs, and we have seen some things that we thought we might not have seen, and we're seeing some things that we didn't expect to see, and we're seeing some things that we probably thought we would see. With that being said, let's jump right into it. We all got Atlanta gear on this morning. Maybe that's why Coach couldn't come on today because he wasn't in uniform. But
man, I didn't even notice that. You're right. We sure do.
We all represent ATL, Charlotte. So let's go right into the Hawks versus the Knicks last night in the fiery State Farm Arena. The Atlanta Hawks took a 2-1 lead over the New York Knicks, beating the New York Knicks quite handily in State Farm Arena. With that being said, let's jump right into it. What are your thoughts so far about this series, and what are you expecting as we get to game 4 on tomorrow and in the week ahead? For we know we do have a game 5 after tomorrow. Red, we're going to start with you, since you were the one who checked Shelby the other week and said that your Hawks were not on a downfall. So it's only right that I start this segment with you. So what do you have to say about your Atlanta Hawks and this series so far?
Yeah, ironically, real Hawks haven't lost a home game since I checked Shelby. So,
You know what?
obviously that was very necessary. So,
Got one more
you know,
time.
okay. All right, let me get to my point. I'm loving it. I'm loving it right now. The pack is back. I endorsed the coaching change back in the day. I'm so glad it worked out to get us to this point where we are right now. Yeah, Nate did let me down with his decision to sit Trey and Bogey for 8 minutes in game two. I honestly think that cost us that game because, as you can see, when the Hawks on our game, or just when we just got the Knicks reeling, they can't touch us. They cannot touch us, man. We really should be sweeping this team right now. Honestly, if you ask me, the refs kept the Knicks in the game last night. Let's be real. The Knicks scored 27 points from the free throw line. You take them 27 points away, and that game is probably looking the most lopsided game in the playoffs right now. So, like I say, Nate, you're doing a great job on Julius Randle. I like what Nate said at the press conference last night. I look at my film every night and I make adjustments. Good job, buddy. Good job, coach. I expect you to do the same thing leading game four. Whatever you saw was wrong with game three, fix it for game four because we got to go back to New York with a 3-1 lead. That is mandatory. And then definitely I think this series will be over. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Trey Young in his first playoffs, with the exception of game two. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of the role players, Bogey, Collins. Collins hitting 3-point shots. Clean 3-point shots, not even forced up or, like you have to take them. So I'm loving how the offense is gelling. Like Rev said earlier, I love how the defense is gelling. I just love the job that we're doing on the Knicks. I love how physical we got with them last night after really being pumped ourselves in game two. So overall, within these 3 games, I'm loving my Hawks' performance and production. Keep it up. Coach Nate, you got a contract waiting on you at the end of this series. Like Rev said, win or lose.
All right, Shelby, what are your thoughts?
First of all, shout out to the Hawks fans last night. Hawks fans in the building were the sixth man. They were loud the entire game.
You can say y'all were loud. You can say y'all were loud.
Okay, y'all. Okay, y'all were loud. Let me give Red and Rev their due. Yes, I was wrong when I said that the Hawks were free falling, and maybe they watched the show and wanted to prove me wrong. I'm okay with that. Trey Young. Trey Young is a difference. When he has the ball, he commands respect. I think he has a chip on his shoulder because he was not an all-star. I think he has something to say about that. And who was an all-star? Yeah, I'm an all-star. When he has the ball, I don't understand how he gets in the lane so easily. They just move. The Knicks just move. He makes the same shot. He's shooting the exact same shot that he won game one with. And y'all still haven't stopped it. I don't understand why y'all haven't made that adjustment. It's been crazy. It's been crazy. Thank you for Spike Lee for giving me a whole bunch of new memes. Looking like a giant orange. I don't know. It was ridiculous. How did he get in the stadium? How did he get in State Farm? Steve Coonan said he was not going to get a ticket from the Hawks ticket office. I don't know who got him a ticket, but they need to be dealt with. You can't say enough about this team. They are responding. They clearly have listened to ESPN and everybody else who said they did not stand a chance, and they're feeding off of it. And it's just been amazing to see. Clint Capella last night with the Mutombo finger wag. I was like, where's that been?
And then don't miss this. He hit him with the double C. Clint Capella C.
Clint Capella, yeah.
He came up with that.
He's not playing.
Yeah.
They are not playing.
Yeah.
The Hawks are not here for play. I love it. And I know. I'm okay, y'all. I'm agreeing with I'm okay. They have to go back 3-1. You have to, and you have to win this in New York. I would love for them to win it here just because the city will go wild and you might as well just shut us down. But to win the series in New York, would just be kind of poetic, and I love
Oh,
it.
I think it's just us being up 3-1, we'll win regardless. They
Yeah.
might get us in New York at game 5, but no way. We'll definitely win that game 6 here in Atlanta.
And
Uh,
I know Rev was at the game, so of course he didn't hear. But Dominique Wilkins made a really good point last night. He said the Knicks looked disinterested at a certain point in the third quarter. He said, "Do they even want to be out here?"
I
And I
told you, the
wonder,
closest they got, the
I
12 points.
wonder did Rev see that beat since he
well,
was there, and he's reminding us that he was there.
well, here it is. The bottom line was Nate McMillan schemed the Knicks very well. Basically, they made a business to shut down Julius Randle, and to see it in person, how Randle cannot easily get to the basket. Every time he turns a quarter, either with his left hand or right hand, there is some hawk waiting on him, and therefore it's causing him to either pass illegitimate passes where people are not able to shoot in rhythm, or is making them take a bad shot. Now, the one plus for the Knicks, and a lot of people didn't see this coming, Derrick Rose has been balling out. I mean, he has changed his game, because he used to be just a great athlete to he's just a savvy player. He's been doing his thing. He's been really the major plus for the Knicks. But the Hawks as a team, and I'll give Trae Young his credit. Trae Young, I've been very hard on Trae Young. To me, Trae Young at some points was not very likable. But under the Nate McMillan regime, he has played. I'm speaking for me. I can only speak for me. And I'll tell you why I'm saying what I'm saying, because you like flash. I like substance, right? Like, I'm not impressed shooting 50 footers and you're only making 1 out of 25. That's not impressive. Or throwing one alley-oop and then throwing the next pass in the stands. That's not impressive to me. And that was really the heart of who Trae Young was. But now that Nate has gotten him, obviously he has set Trae Young down. They watch film together. He is playing with much more poise. He's playing with much more control. He's not taking these ill-advised three-pointers. He may take 1 a game as opposed to 7 a game. And then, he is a threat. He can throw the alley-oop with either hand, right or left. I mean, some of the alley-oops I didn't even see coming. And I mean, he's shooting the ball with rhythm. I am impressed with Trae Young. And because of the development of Trae Young, this is what, year 3 for him? Mm-hmm. There's no way in the world, win or lose, there is absolutely no way in the world the Hawks cannot let Nate McMillan go. I mean, let him go. There's no way in the world. I don't care if the Knicks wind up winning the next 3 games. For whatever reason, the development of Trae Young, when you see it in person, like if you're a basketball person, what I saw in person, they are really one of the few teams that still runs plays. I mean, they have a system. They are not just trying to jack up threes. The threes are within the flow of the offense. They are moving the ball around. He knows how to get Clint Capella in the sweet spots. I mean, the Hawks GM, I made a mistake. He did an excellent job, because we were questioning earlier the signings of Gallinari and Bogey, and those signings have been phenomenal, because the way Nate McMillan can use that team to spread the floor. Trae Young has all the room to operate, breaks the defense down, can dish the ball to the wings, and you got shooters who can shoot the rock. I mean, he has just done the GM did a great job. So I'm gonna have to retract a lot of my statements that I said during the Lloyd Pierce era. It is clear that the players did not want to play for Lloyd Pierce. And I'm going to say it was clear that, number one, Trae Young didn't want to play for Lloyd Pierce. That's where it starts. Now, I'm not going to say Lloyd Pierce was a bad coach, but he is not better than Nate McMillan. I will concede that. I will concede that. And Nate McMillan is probably in the best situation he's ever been in, because this is the first time that he is playing with someone who is a fringe superstar. I'm not ready to give Trae Young superstar status yet, but he's on his way. And I will give Trae Young props. standing up to the people in the garden. I mean, he's showing some boldness. He is manning up. He is saying, I don't mind taking the pressure. And that's why I have to give him big ups, because we're seeing the Clippers. They stepped up yesterday, but the Clippers stars have not been able to rise to the occasion. Trae Young is like, bring it on, bruh. I'm ready. I'm built for this.
I might have had a Holy Ghost in this church.
I know. I just wanted to make sure that if I didn't know everybody noticed that Red was down there catching the Holy Ghost, and it was there. It was just,
I can't even say nothing.
Even with sports, I have that influence, Shelby. Even with sports, I have that way of influencing. But anyway,
I'm kidding, man. I'm
you,
kidding. What about
you
the crowd
still
here?
have to. Please don't do that. Derrick Rose. Kelly and I talked about this last night. Derrick Rose was on his way out. He's been hurt. I can't call him a bust, but he is not what we thought he was going to be. And all of a sudden, the Fountain of Youth found him for this series. They can't.
It won't last.
I don't know if such a quick turnaround is going to be good for him on Sunday. Because if you go with Uncle Lou to Magic City for the wing platter,
that's right.
you might.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
That's right. It's Saturday.
It's Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
In the city.
Well, we want him to
do it. Shelby, call your girl. Shelby, call your girl. Hey, ladies, call your girl. We got to get them out on the street, Rev. Get these girls out on the street.
It won't be hard. It won't be hard. It's Memorial Day weekend.
We got to find these next players.
Everything is kind of opening up.
Yeah.
We know where Lou is going to be. We know where Lou is going to be. Listen,
it's not going to be hard.
It's not going to be hard.
I had to go by Cumberland Mall yesterday, and just in Cumberland Mall, the stars were out, ready to rock and roll. So the Knicks can get in some necessary trouble if they don't watch out.
Ladies, no doubt about it. Ladies, we gotta have y'all do y'all job. Hit the streets and get these players and find them. Find them, ladies.
Here it
y'all
is.
Got one job to do. But
now, let's get back to basketball. Basketball, even though what happens off the court can affect what happens on the court. But nevertheless, we would be remiss if we didn't mention what Dante put, and it's a great point. The Hawks have improved defensively as well. And one of the things that they've done, what Nate has done, Nate has taken Trae Young off the ball. As you can see, Nate has not had Trae Young guard Derrick Rose, because that will wear him out on offense. Plus, Trae Young is not a great defensive player. Nate Young is doing what I did with Trae Young when he was on my team on NBA 20K21. You put him on the guy who can't dribble that much, is just a spot-up shooter. So that's why you're seeing Trae Young playing Reggie Bullock a lot, which does not put a lot of pressure on Trae Young, because Reggie Bullock does not create his own shot. He's just a spot-up shooter. So that's helping. That's helping with the rotations on the defense. And again, good point, Dante. The Hawks defense is a lot better, and what he's doing is he's not allowing Trae Young to be exposed. And that's the important thing, because he could oftentimes be exposed because of his size. So, I mean, big ups to the Hawks. I'm going to game 4 tomorrow.
Like a liability out there on defense.
So real quickly, let's make our predictions real quickly. Hawks in what? Go, Shelby. Hawks in what?
5.
Oh, you got them 5. Red. Hawks in what?
I'm gonna stick with 6.
I'm gonna go with 6 too, because I think the Knicks may pull it out in New York. They'll have one more for the Gipper in New York.
If they don't, they don't lost all their heart. Even though I would love for it to end in 5, but I just feel like if we go up 3-1, that crowd will be so crunk. They should get that one at home.
Well, it's no doubt about it. The Hawks are the better team. There's no doubt about it.
Definitely.
Hawks are definitely.
They ain't got no offense. I mean, D-Rose not even a good shooter. He just really streaky right now. If we stop D-Rose, Randall ain't doing nothing because he's not a good shooter. Most of these guys.
If you stop Derrick Rose, the Knicks
It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Because nobody else is scoring. Nobody else is getting to the basket. the fact that they had 27, I don't know how many free throws. I know that's how many they made. The fact that they got to
Exactly.
the free throw line that much, the Hawks are not only playing the Knicks, but they're playing the refs too. Because I'm like, that they miss fouls, but then they call them on the Hawks. I'm
Yeah.
seeing it. I mean, but to that level of discrepancy is something to look at, and I hope that
And,
the league has looked at it
and still beat them by 11.
and still beat them by 11.
Yeah. All right. We got a good conversation on the Hawks and Knicks. This conversation probably won't be as long, especially since Coach is not with us right now. The 76ers and the Wizards. The 76ers up 2-0.
I think it's other things in that series we need to talk about besides the
Bless their heart.
basketball.
All right, so we know we'll get to the Russell Westbrook situation that took place during Game 2 in Philadelphia. They play Game 3 on ESPN tonight, 7:00 in Washington. Do you see any significant changes that Washington can make in order to make this a series? Shelby, you're shaking your head, so I'll go with you first, Shelby.
I actually had hope in the Wizards after the play-in game, and then I don't know what happened. They look flat. They actually look like they don't want to be there. It's just sad. Bless their hearts. I don't want them to get swept. I wouldn't want anybody to get swept because, that's bad on your mental health, but bless their hearts. If they win one, good for them. But we'll say 5. We'll say 76ers in 5 to be nice.
So you're saying the Wizards going to take one in Washington?
I hope so. Because if not, if the 76ers go up 3-0, absolutely. It's over.
All right, Red, what's your assessment about the Wizards versus the 76ers?
Look, if Kelly said the Heat series in Milwaukee need to be over with, then I know good and doggone well this series need to be over with. We don't even need to see these two play another game. Just end it right now. The Wizards are not going to win in their hometown. Sixers going to come in and just blow them out. Win Game 3, beat them in Game 4. Westbrook is injured. He's not 100%. Bradley Beal has always been injured. He another Anthony Davis. You might well say he Anthony Davis as a guard. So neither one of them can stay healthy. This series is over with. Kelly, if you said the Heat in Milwaukee needs to be done, then this series most definitely needs to be done. Just forfeit the last 2 games. Just go in and put the Sixers in the next round, and my Hawks will meet you there in 2 games.
All right, and the fans, man, they are all up on them, man, all up on it. I think, we're really missing the bigger picture because of what happened with the fans and Russell Westbrook. Let's remember, before Russ wanted to go up into the stands, he was leaving because he has an ankle injury. And we don't know Russ to just leave the arena because of just some simple injury. So obviously the ankle injury had to be of such a nature that it's really difficult for him to play, for him to be walking off the court in the first place. So let's just bring it back. We know that they already had a slim chance, even with a healthy Russell Westbrook. Then when you talk about a Russell Westbrook who is hampered by an ankle injury, that doesn't give them much of a chance to win a game. So I'm going to go with the sweep. They're going to put the Wizards to sleep in the next few days. And, it's a big accomplishment for the Wizards to have made the playoffs in the first place because nobody saw that coming. Coach. They were hanging out well beyond 10th place, and then they worked themselves back into contention. They made the new play-in rules work for them. But then they played so well that even if the season ended with the top 8 seeds like they normally do, they would have been the 8th seed.
They would have made it.
They would have made it. So
that's why we clapping for them, because they actually made it regardless.
Yeah, they made it regardless, and
that's an accomplishment.
Just being relevant, relevant.
Killing Coach T.
Yeah, just being relevant was definitely an accomplishment. So we got to give them big props for just being relevant. All right.
I think those are some Westbrook shots too, Shelby. Yeah, see, exactly. She didn't even say she disagreed with me.
You're not a big Russell Westbrook fan, Shelby?
No, no,
So
he
that
cries too much.
so that's where
Cries
you
too
and your
much.
that's where you and your sports boo depart, huh?
I
And
mean,
then,
no offense, but it's the Wizards. Bless their hearts.
well, your sports boo coach, he loves him some Russell Westbrook. Wherever Russ
Hey,
goes, that's where coach's fandom goes.
Mm.
All right,
remind me of the LeBron fans.
let's go to the Maurice Thrower special. Bucks versus the Heat. The Bucks
He
up
should have
three.
he should have nothing to say on this series because the team ain't got nothing to say.
There
Well,
needs to be
listen,
a mercy rule. There has to be a mercy rule, like they have in high school sports. They have a mercy rule. Like, if it's 10-0 or 15-0 in baseball after the fifth inning, they stop. And I feel like this should be a mercy rule because this feels wrong for them to get beat like this. 3 straight games. Like,
And
poor things.
all those players you wasted in the Victor Oladipo trade. I bet you wish you had some of them back. Just for health alone, because Vic Oladipo can't even play. Some of them guys probably could play, could give you something.
yeah, yeah.
I
And
didn't think it was going to be this bad, though.
well, here it is. It's amazing how series can shift because last Saturday, the Heat were one shot away from taking a 1-0
Yeah.
lead. Chris Middleton hits a clutch shot to give the Bucks the victory to put them up 1-0, and then all of a sudden the Bucks just figured the Heat out in games 2 and 3, and they've been just blowouts.
Yeah.
And I think here's what I really think is going on.
Coach Bud doing his job.
Well, Coach Bud is doing his job, but the GM did his job. We
Oh.
undersold those additions that they made. Drew Holiday, great addition. Taking pressure off Greek Freak. You got another guy who can create a shot, put the ball in the hole, defend, which is helping Chris Middleton be able to be a better offensive player. Chris Middleton actually worked on his game. He's no longer just a spot-up shooter. He's putting the ball on the floor, scoring buckets. I mean, to be honest, Giannis is not as good of an offensive option as Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton because his shot is not consistent. But we know he can get buckets when he needs to get buckets. And then Bobby Portis has been a welcome addition to the Bucks. And then PJ Tucker. And this is why I'm telling people, look here, all you folk about the Nets, y'all better realize there's a great chance they won't make it out of round 2, but we'll wait till that happens. But my point was, I think the Bucks initially saw how the Nets were steamrolling through the Celtics until last night. And I think the Bucks made it a huge priority to get this series over because they know that their next matchup is with the Nets. So therefore, we can't be fooling around. We can't go 6 or 7 with this team because we got a major date with a major team in the next round. What do y'all think about that assessment? Do y'all think that helped them step up their game?
Well, that and the fact that they straight got embarrassed by this team last year.
Yeah.
And payback is a mother, And like I say, they got coaches probably.
I'm done.
Oh my God. But like I say, revenge is served. It's been served. And like I say, the Bucks know what the mission is, and they know that this is their time. Nobody's talking about them. Like we said, they completely underrated, under the radar. And like I say, even the Nets, nobody will probably pick them over the Nets. But like you say, they getting the inclination right now that we probably need to get this series over with. Let's get ready for the Nets because we on a mission and we think we can really shock the world. Because, like I say, nobody's talking about them coming out the East. Now, I would love for the Bucks to slide past the Nets and get to the Eastern Conference. Because if by chance something goes wrong in Philly, and if by chance my Hawks, it would have to be something huge. But that's why you play the game because you never know what happened. But if by chance we can get past the Sixers, woo! I like my Hawks' chances against the Bucks more so than I do the Nets.
All right,
So I got personal reasons for the Bucks to get to the Eastern Final.
All right, before we move to halftime, let's get this last Eastern Conference matchup, and we'll talk the Western Conference in the second half of the second half. All right, here we go. Bucks. I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. Nets versus Celtics. I'm sorry. What y'all think about it?
Right? You had it right.
Okay, my bad. The Celtics showed up, showed out. Jason Tatum put a 50-piece on them last night. Was that just a game to avoid the sweep, or will the Celtics tie this thing up and make it a series?
I'll let Shelby go on this one.
I don't. Jason Tatum balled out last night, but he doesn't have any help. He does not have. You didn't have Jaylen Brown, so it's just Jason Tatum, and that's a huge responsibility for him to carry that whole team. I think hopefully it'll go. I think it might go 6, but they're not going to beat Brooklyn in Brooklyn. They might take the second one in Boston, but they won't beat them in Brooklyn. It'll be over in 6.
All right. So you're going 6, Red? Are you going to give the Celtics 6 games?
Nah. Like Shelby said, it's too much for one guy. They got one game. I'm surprised at that. That may be all they get. But what they did do was give Coach Bud and Milwaukee an excellent blueprint. Now I know for a fact they're gonna be able to hang with the Nets. Now you just gave had the Nets not lost the game going into the next round, then maybe I would say maybe the Nets would have just a slight advantage. But you just gave Milwaukee a blueprint. You know they're gonna study this game right here. Even if this game didn't happen, I'm sure Coach Bud had some game he could have studied to get ready for you, but he definitely has this game. So it was a good game by Boston. You didn't get swept, thankfully, respectfully, but I think the Nets gonna get the next one in Boston and come on home and finish it out.
So do you think Kyrie was affected last night by being back in Beantown, where they despise him because of his lackluster time with them, and how he kind of lied to the fan base that he was going to stick around, and he bounced for.
I think Kyrie is affected by a carjacking at the strip mall, man. This guy's affected by the slightest and littlest of things, okay? I don't know what goes on in that mental guy's head. You asking me, do I know what Kyrie is affected by? I have absolutely no idea. Maybe not. I mean, he seemed like he did okay at some of the game. Half of the game, he was had his head in space. In the other half, he hit a few big shots. He tried to bring them back in the fourth quarter, but I think Tatum and Boston was just a little too much for him last night. But as far as him being affected, I have no idea what go on in that mental guy's head.
All right, what do you think, Shelby? Was he affected last night? Did that have some toll on the game?
I think it is, because he came out so early to talk about the racism in Boston, which I don't know what Danny Ainge is talking about. I think that's pretty well known that Boston is a racist area.
He is completely clueless.
Right. I mean, even his own coach, Casey Jones, said he was affected by the racism. His teammates, Robert Parrish, said, I was affected by racism. I'm not really sure what you're talking about.
Marcus Smart, a current player, who already said
current player.
Yeah. So I don't know what he's talking about. So Kyrie is a very cerebral person, and he
being nice.
Well, I think he's really focusing on his mental health, which is great. I think everybody should focus on their mental health, but when you come out and say that, then you're giving Boston ammunition, and then they're going to be even worse to you than they probably would have been. So I think it did affect him, and I'm sure he heard some stuff. Of course we don't know what's going on, but I'm sure he heard a couple of N-words, a couple of, what. I mean, there's no telling. It is still Boston. But I think when you say that before the game, you're just giving them bulletin board material. And so we all know it's there. We all know the history of Boston. I don't think that was the right time.
I give you that. And he kind of tried to get ahead of the story, but then in a real sense, he also showed his mental weakness.
Yeah.
to a
Yeah.
degree, and basically letting the Celtics fans know they're already in his head. So that wasn't necessarily a good move. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the first half of the Red and Rev Sports Show. As Shelby been holding it down with the fellas, we got one more half of the Red and Rev Sports Show, and we're going to be talking some more basketball. We're going to be talking some more. We're going to talk some baseball. We're going to have a quick, and this is a cue to Red, a quick Braves report. Quick Braves report as we talk.
We ain't had that many games this week.
Well, they did all right, and Coach was actually a baseball prophet because the Braves went on a 4-game winning streak. They were doing all right before they lost to the Red Sox the other day. But nevertheless, we're coming back. Second half of the Red and Rev Sports Show as Shelby holding it down with the fellas. We look forward to talking some more basketball, Braves report. And, of course, we're talking Julio. Amani, get the Kleenex ready. We're talking
Julio. I'm a Julio fan. I'm sad.
Yeah, but not as sad as Amani. And then we're going to be talking about some NBA fans getting in the way of NBA players. We'll talk about that. We'll be right back. And we are back for the second half of the Red and Rev Sports Show. Thank you, Reverend Night Nation, for doing what you do. Y'all are great at what you do, keeping the show live and active as you post your comments. Also, if there's anybody else watching, come on, feel free to come on over to the Red and Rev Sports Show page on Facebook. Also, we're on YouTube. Send those comments, and we'll be happy to post them or read them because you all are very much a very viable part of the show. Also, I don't normally say this, but I'm going to say this. If you don't mind, Reverend Night Nation, if you want to help bring some more fans to the Red and Rev Sports Show, hit that share button. Let somebody know you're watching some real good sports talk so that somebody on your timeline may get acquainted with the Red and Rev Sports Show featuring Coach and with Shelby every other week. So hit that share button. Let somebody know what you're watching on today. And we had some few comments in between halftime, so I'll post them real quickly. Armani talking about Kyrie and Durant being soft. Kyrie Irving is a head case at times, and Kyrie Irving is notorious for being cuckoo. Y'all giving it to Kyrie.
You never know what going on in that guy's head.
No doubt
about everything.
All right, Red. I'm not even going to play the Braves music. The Braves were coming off a 4-game winning streak. They lost their first game to the Pirates rolling into last week. Then they won Friday, Saturday, Sunday, had a day off. They win again against the Red Sox in Beantown. Then they lose their last one. They get rained out on Friday after having Thursday off. So they are basically 5-2 in the last 7 games. So what are your thoughts about the Braves? And we know that there was some controversy that came out with Snicker.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, Snicker pretty much popping off at the mouth. We'll get to that. But let me say, the Braves, they were doing good. Like you say, 4 in a row. Looking pretty good in Boston. Then, get to 500, and we here we go again. We need a win to get over 500. And guess who's on the mound? That's right, our boy Drew Smiley. And guess what he goes and do? Pitches 5 innings, 7 earned runs, 2 home runs. Thanks a lot, Drew. Once again, when we really need a good, credible start from you, you go and do that. Now, I'm sure you want to put some of the blame on the rain delay, but dude, you gave up 7 earned runs and doggone, well, just 5 hits, but still 7 earned runs and 2 home runs. You were useless once again. We were off Thursday. Friday came, we were rained down the Mets, so hopefully it was no disappointment to talk about from there. But that's pretty much it for Ray as far as the game go. Now, as far as Snicker, well, he's popping off at the mouth before he even know what the world going on. And maybe he did know what was going on, and maybe the organization just didn't want this news out there. But still, Snicker was on the MLB Network, interviewed by my high heat guy. Can't think of his name right now. But he went on and told us that Mike Soroka was done for the season. Pretty much he was done. Not going to see him again. Out. And then I guess maybe an hour or two later, he had to come on radio and apologize and say, nope, I was mistaken. So it's a chance Soroka still might pitch again this season, which to me and Shelby and the rest of the Braves fans, we all think it's a bunch of BS. We know done well Soroka ain't pitching this season. He's done. The man Achilles is hurt. His shoulder is hurt. All of that was working fine. Now his Achilles flaring back up again. The man is done for the season. They need whatever's going on with this kid. They need to really. I think he had exploratory surgery last week, but whatever is going on internally, they need to fix it and fix it now because it's really affecting his career. Like Rev told me, or tried to tell me a few weeks ago, the guy just been injury prone since they bought him up. He was injury prone in the minors. He's been injury prone in the majors. And it's prognosticating that it's not looking good going for his future. I hate that because I'm a big Soroka fan.
Let's not use big words, okay? That's not your ministry.
Coach moment. Should I have a coach moment for the first time?
Oh,
Not your ministry. Not your ministry. Big words. Let's not do that.
Okay. You know what?
So how do you have a Braves report and you don't talk about Marcell Ozuna and his hand? He fractured his hand sliding into third base. How do you do a Braves report and you don't talk about that?
Well, I thought we both were going to do it first, but I was going to let you have something to say. But sorry.
But you do the Braves report.
No, we
The
both
Braves
were
report
doing the
is
Braves
yours.
report. No, it's not. Both hours. Me and Coach do this together, and you taking over for Coach, so you got to be part of this, Sweet.
But I'm just
so stop
saying,
being lazy.
How did you, that should have been the number one story. That should have been the
number one story. Drew Smiley second is the number one story.
Drew Smiley isn't the number one story.
You're right. You called me.
First of all, when you talk about baseball and you talk about pitchers, you have to talk about the fact that by the time they make it to the major leagues, how much pressure and how much work have they put their arms through? Got to remember, most of these kids, because that's what they are, they're children. Most of these kids go through playing ball as young as 7, 8, and 9. They're on travel teams. They're pitching multiple games a day. And so their arms, by the time they make it to the majors, are almost worn out. And that's why you get so many injuries so young. Think about Steven Strasburg. He injury prone. He was supposed to be the next greatest thing since Nolan Ryan, and he's injury prone. That's because he pitched so much as a young kid. Their arms are worn out. We have to stop with all of these huge leagues and all of this travel ball and all of this when you're using your arm and you're using it so much. Now, age 22, you need Tommy John surgery. Like, it's a real problem that they need to talk about in youth sports.
Good point. And that's definitely something that needs to be looked at because they're being worn out before they get to the league. But good also take Shelby about Ozuna being out for quite some time because that's a huge hit on the Braves. And we'll see how they regroup. With that being said, let's move on to talking about some football, and let's talk about some football.
Somebody gave Shelby a reason to clown.
Let's go, Armani. Are you okay?
Somebody give him a tissue box like they gave Spike Lee last night.
Oh, that was hilarious. Harry the Hawk with that tissue box. I was devastated.
All right.
Hey,
June.
I'm sad too now, real. Julio is my guy. You know I love Julio too.
June 1st is coming.
Not shedding
And,
one tear.
Hold on quickly. Revenite Nation wants to reclaim our time since Red made no mention of Marcelo. So yeah.
Thanks, Maurice.
We talked about him.
Shelby, you gonna love this
Part
one.
of this too.
You gonna love
Stop
this
trying to
one,
distance yourself.
Throws dictionary. Red, you know they get no.
I know. I'm ready for it.
You see this one, Shelby? Read that one. Read that one.
Merriam-Webster rolling in the graves like y'all saw my face. I was like, what was that word?
Yeah, Red. I don't know what you were trying to say. You said prognostic something. I don't know what you were trying to say.
I think he was trying to connect, prognosticate, and procrastinate in the same word, and they're two different words.
You didn't say he tried to combine the words together, did he?
Actually, it was prognosis. It was prognosis and prognosis and prognostication.
Stop it! Stop it!
The first words you said is prognosis.
Listen, I
was trying to combine.
Listen, I don't normally watch the replays of our show, but I have to watch the replay because I got to get a screenshot of Shelby's eyes when you said that word that you were trying to say. Shelby went in the screen, her eyebrows and eyes went up. That was classic.
I didn't know what word it was. I mean, as an English major, I was like, that's not a word. It's just not a word.
I do well with words. I made a mistake on that one. I'll admit.
All right. Let's move on.
I told you she's trying to win an Emmy Award with all this little subtle acting she doing.
Oh, man.
You're the one who tried to combine 15 different words into one. It was just wrong. Red Nation knew exactly what I was talking about.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
I got caught.
Pronounce it, Red. Maurice put it.
I'm done with that word. I'm done with that word.
And watch what Thomas Hogan said. Red is our bootleg T.I.
Why I gotta be T.I., man? How did T.I. get it in?
Oh, my goodness. Revelite Nation. Oh, okay, man. Let's go back. Here it is. Armani is trying to share him. Armani is trying to share his feelings in this next segment. We want to be sensitive.
Coming on?
We want to be sensitive to Armani's sports emotions. That's why I'm talking more about Armani than you, Red. You kind of laugh things off. You kind of rant things off. Yeah. Armani is really in his feelings. He said, "No, I'm not okay. I'm not selling my dress, my jersey either." He even said this: "How Red feels about Kobe is how I feel about Julio." Now that's deep.
Okay.
Wow,
it's real deep, man.
I feel y'all money. I told y'all the brand is the truth.
So y'all played catch together, like Red was in the gym with Kobe.
This man is suffering. You're clowning on his emotions right now. Come on, Shelby. I would expect what you just said from Red, but this man is voicing his sports emotion to us. Armani is a dear contributor, not just in Revenite Nation, but he is our substitute go-to guy when we need somebody else to fill in. Yeah. And I would not allow us to go in on Armani like that because this man is trying to share his heart with the Red and Red Sports Show. He just posted something else. Whatever they do, just don't trade him to the Aints or to my wife's Baltimore Ravens, because if they do, I'm going to be sleeping with my youngest.
And I doubt they'll trade him to the Aints, but
the Ravens might be a possibility.
That's a possibility now.
Get an addition to the crib, brother.
As long as they trade him to a cold climate with no dome.
With no dope.
with no dome.
Oh.
No dome.
I'm finna get
Why
the
would it be
hour
dope?
again.
Why dope?
No, real. I'm just messing with you, girl.
All right, let's get on topic. Let's get on topic. All right, who's the Aints? There go Kenya Burfict from
They
Louisiana.
ain't going. They not trading them in the division.
Oh, Scholar is nowhere near that DNA. And then Thomas went on and said his name is Rhodes. Forget the Scholar, the Rhodes Scholar.
I thought we were talking about Julio now.
All right, yeah, we're talking about Julio. Let's get to Julio. And all right, so real talk. It's probably very likely next time when we do this show, Julio Jones will no longer be an Atlanta Falcon because they need to trade him since they're not going to sign, make his contract a signing bonus, which would allow them to keep him, but they would have added more years to how long they would have to pay him. So they can't even sign their draft picks right now because they don't have the salary cap space. So it's pretty much a surety that when we come back next week, Julio will not be on the team. So with that being said, and with the various scenarios that have been thrown out there from probably what you all have heard or read, where do you think Julio will wind up playing the 2021 football season? Shelby, I'm going to go with you first. I know you've been saying good riddance to Julio. You're not as emotional as Red is, as I am, and definitely not as Armani. So where do you feel our brother JJ will wind up in 2021?
I don't know. I don't know who has the money to take that contract. Again, I hope he goes to someplace cold without a covered stadium, because that is going to. I mean, he's always played in a very temperature controlled environment, and I would like to see him run in the snow somewhere where it snows a lot and it's cold. I'm okay if you go to the Patriots. You and Cam Newton have a ball. Two big old heads in one spot.
Now, Shelby, real quick. I'm sensing that you have not gotten over the fact that Julio went to Alabama and you're a Georgia person. Is that where some of the venom comes from? So like Julio, you're a Falcons fan, right?
I'm a Falcons fan, and it's a business decision. It's kind of like when the Braves got rid of Dave Justice. My heart was broken, but it's a business decision. It's all about the business. Whoever wears the red and black, I'm going to be a fan of. But when you gotta go, you gotta go. Bye. This is a business.
Well, see, here's the problem with that take. I get what you're saying.
I know we're not talking red.
In a true sense, you're correct. Wow. We also have to ask the question, how did we get here? Like the GM made some bad decisions. One of the worst decisions they made was giving Matt Ryan a 5-year contract at $30 million when we all knew he could not live up to the contract. We got a glimpse of it. All right, so if he had gotten that contract right after the Super Bowl year, right after winning the MVP, a lot of people couldn't say much, right? Because he just came off of doing what he did. But we just saw him the year after, as many people want to talk about how bad the defense has been. The defense carried him and the Atlanta Falcons the entire year, the year after the Super Bowl, when the Falcons lost in the second round of the playoffs to the Eagles, when he lost to doggone, what's his face, the quarterback that went on to win the MVP?
Nick Foles.
He loses to Nick Foles, the team that even scored more than 12 points. So why would we give him a 5-year contract at $30 million? I know everybody want to talk about the market, but that's when Julio started getting upset. Because Julio, and what we got to understand is this, and this is why more venom got to be thrown at Matt Ryan, and of course Thomas Dimitroff is no longer here. Julio never talked about one dime until Matt Ryan went for his money. When Matt Ryan did not set the tone to say, I'm going to do a team-friendly deal, Julio said, oh, enough is enough. If this dude going to get top dollar, and he's not even considered to be the top at his position, and I am year in, year out, the top at my position, I'm going to get paid like the top of my position. So he said, bump that. I'm going for mine. That's how we got to where we got, because Matt Ryan did not want to set the tone to be team friendly. And that's why I got more issues with Matt Ryan. And it's not easy for me to be like, so go bye-bye Julio, because if anybody deserved to be paid at the top of their position, can we all agree Julio deserves that more than Matt Ryan?
I know I can. And like
You
you
can't
said,
agree with that. How
He's not even the top paid quarterback in the league. He's like number 9 or 10.
But he was at one point in time. I'm talking about when he got signed.
He was.
He became the top player, not even top quarterback, top player in the NFL, coming off a subpar QB season.
They offered it to him. If you offer me $30 million, I'm gonna take it too. They offered it to him. This was a GM decision. This was a GM. Listen, we had some bad decision making.
And you know you need a lot around you to succeed. Matt Ryan internally should have said to himself, maybe it's not a good idea for me to kill the salary cap with this huge salary when I know I'm going to need an all-pro on my offensive line, an all-pro skill player, about at least 2 all-pros on defense, at least, just to have a decent season, because if not, all of it's going to be on me, and we all know he can't win when it's all on him. He don't even have a running game. They can't even afford a decent running back because so much of the salary cap is tied up into him. They can't go out and find a decent passer.
But whose fault was that? That's a GM's fault. You never should have offered it to him. Come on.
But Shelby, here, this is where you talk about there's no I in team, right? There's no I in salary. There's no I salary, and there's no me in salary right there where you go to that me stuff. But check it out. What Red was saying is this. If you know you're not that dude, then don't try to sell to the fan base, I'm doing everything that I can do to help the team win. No, you're not. The only thing we're going to have to show for as Atlanta Falcons fans is to see that Matt Ryan made it rain with the Atlanta Falcons money. We have no Super Bowl to show for it. We're not going to get one. We don't have nothing. All we're going to have is all these stats that contributed to a 4-6 playoff record where he played over a decade, and half of his playoff wins came in 1 year.
Yep.
So he's not even averaging a playoff victory per season.
And Julio sees this, and he knows. Remember that post I made? Julio knows that he's a better wide receiver than Matt Ryan is a quarterback. So, like you say, he's not going to sit still and let this guy just keep killing the salary cap year after year. When number one, Julio took a team-friendly deal. Lots of other players on the team took a team-friendly deal. Hey, Matt Ryan, it's your turn, buddy. And we all know you're not better than some of you. You're not a better quarterback than Grady Jarrett is a D tackle or Julio is a wide receiver. So if they took team-friendly deals, why can't you?
Listen,
and see,
nobody's turning down. Maurice said nobody's turning down $30 million.
He got enough money.
But then,
he does now. But I still don't think. Listen, I still say bye to Julio. It's been nice. They could have restructured some other contracts. He asked to leave. I don't know why he asked to leave, but he asked to leave in March. You didn't even give the new regime a new chance, an opportunity to see. He could have taken it all as a signing bonus. There were multiple things they could have done to keep Julio. Multiple options. But sorry, bye.
Look. I think what Julio understood was the handwriting was on the wall. So he did a Kyrie Irving. He got ahead of it to say, I want it out before y'all put me out. because he understood that the Falcons were in salary cap purgatory. So instead of letting them disgrace me, I'm going to let them know, look, I want out. And that's what he was doing, getting ahead of the game. Because if the Falcons truly wanted him, they would have done what they needed to do to say, look, man, we want to keep you. You're part of our future, so forth, so on. I understand his injury history. But why are we restructuring Matt Ryan's deal? Why are we beholden to Matt Ryan to let his contract continue to be a football salary cap noose on the Atlanta Falcons? I mean, what has he done to deserve? Let's take the hit now. Let him get all his money this year. Let's be terrible this year. Usher Matt Ryan out the door after next year. But now we got to keep him for 3 more years. What do y'all think is going to happen next year? Are we going to be that much better with Matt Ryan as the quarterback?
So wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see. We have a whole new coaching staff. We've got new people. I think that's why they took Kyle Pitts, because they knew Julio was on his way out.
Right. And I mean, it's an excellent pick if Kyle Pitts turns out to be that dude, no doubt about it. But you can't – I don't know what all this love is for Matt Ryan. I mean, and this is the problem. The Atlanta fan base is the problem.
It is.
And let me just say that real quick. We're going to move on because
Let me say one more thing after you finish.
There is no other fan base that's from a championship town. Well, we're not a championship town for the Falcons, so we can't say that. But no championship team fan base.
The reason. The fan base is the reason.
Is the reason we do not have a Super Bowl. We need to be raising Cain about we getting rid of Julio, then not getting rid of Matt Ryan. What franchise allows a dude to sleep at night, keep making it rain with their money, and allow him to be 4-6? Matt Ryan is the constant of why this team cannot close the deal. Julio, no other Falcon was on the team when they lost to the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Conference Championship. Matt Ryan was on the team that had the biggest Super Bowl debacle in Super Bowl history. Matt Ryan was on the team when they gave up losses to the Cowboys, gave up big leads to the Cowboys and Bears in consecutive weeks. The constant is Matt Ryan. And why are we so comfortable keeping this guy who cannot close out games on the roster? Why do we make it so comfortable for him? Why do we make the GM so comfortable keeping this guy around? Carson Wentz helped the Eagles win a championship, even though he was not the Super Bowl winning quarterback. His play allowed the Eagles to get home field advantage in the championship that they wound up winning. And they ran him out quickly, plus the Super Bowl winning coach in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls over Tom Brady. They did not let that man rest and retire in peace in New York. They even benched him. But he has 2 Super Bowls. But the fan base would not allow him to be comfortable with 2 Super Bowls. We are comfortable here in Atlanta with a guy who's won nothing.
Nothing.
Why are we so comfortable?
Look at his backup.
Well, we gotta keep Matt.
Yeah.
We gotta keep the quarterback.
I mean, even if we were forced to keep Matt, he don't deserve all this defense from folks. The folks defending him like he don't want multiple Super Bowls, like he just don't want playoff game after playoff game after playoff game. I've been watching the NFL since 1987. I know good quarterbacks from bad quarterbacks, from great quarterbacks to franchise quarterbacks. I know them all. I don't seen them all play, okay? It is time to move on from Matt Ryan. That's nothing bad. The dude did his job in his prime. He can no longer get the job done. He's been here going on year 14. He's had multiple opportunities to win it. I mean, he's had what? Number one seed several times: 2010, 2012, 2016, 2017. Don't miss the playoffs the last 3 years. What is it that these folks are not seeing? I don't understand how they come at me and Rev as if this guy is just doing all of these great things on the field and we're the idiots and we're the morons for talking about Matt Ryan. I don't think so, man. All the guy's doing is put up meaningless stats year after year. Yeah, he gonna get in the Hall of Fame because he got a whole bunch of meaningless stats. You got Falcon fans that's gonna sit up here and praise this clown getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. Some even think he gonna get in first ballot. Absolutely not. That's a doggone joke to even think this clown gonna get in first ballot. He has won one more time, Rev. Nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely
Nothing.
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 And even his one MVP was won by a guy that's coaching in San Francisco. He ain't came close to winning the MVP again. So you guys sound like complete fools, complete delusional nutcases for wondering why me and Rev and every other Matt Ryan truth teller has a problem with him. The guy is peppermint Matty for a reason.
And man, I don't know. Shelby, you get the last word. Go ahead. Say what you're gonna say. Go ahead. We vented.
Bye, Julio. Don't put you on the way out.
See, that's why we're not a championship team right there. You are willing to say bye in a disrespectful way to arguably the best Falcons player to ever play it, but you'll sit up there and watch this loser who can't close a game, who's a perennial loser, who's only won 4 playoff games.
I'm not going to put every loss on Matt Ryan. You cannot put the Cowboys' loss on Matt Ryan.
Okay.
You cannot.
Have you ever seen let me ask you this, Shelby. Have you ever seen Tom Brady lose a game like that? Have you ever seen Aaron Rodgers? Have you ever seen Aaron Rodgers lose a game like that?
No.
Have you ever seen Cam?
Well, maybe once. I take that back. He did lose that Seattle game like that.
First of all,
to Russell Wilson. I will take Aaron Rodgers back. But you never see it consistently.
It is.
And
It is a problem.
Matt Ryan is a consistent loser where he cannot close out games. And here's the Reds point. We're going to move on because we never did answer the question collectively. All right. I know you did say you didn't know where he was, so you didn't answer where he could go because salary cap so focused on. But to Red's point, and this is where the problem lies. If I know I'm not that dude that can hold it down, if I know I'm dependent upon a roster being successful, if I know my play cannot offset the deficiencies of the defense and offensive line, and if I'm seriously concerned about winning, why would I take a $30 million contract?
Because they gave it to me.
Therefore, I'm not concerned about winning. I'm concerned about myself. Aaron Rodgers did not lose like that, Chardin. They did not have a big lead against Tampa Bay during the NFC Championship game. Come on back. Come on back, brother. Come on back. The only time that happened was when they lost to Seattle. Tampa Bay was in complete control of that game. All right?
I know they offered it, Shelby, but he still could have negotiated a small.
Listen, I still say Thomas Dimitroff and Arthur Blank. I put some of the blame on Arthur Blank. This is Arthur Blank's play toy. This is something he's already made gazillions of money with Home Depot. Buying the Falcons was just something he wanted to do. He writes checks. You don't put the right people in place, then you come away with a $30 million contract. Thomas Dimitroff was not the brain that we thought he was.
Oh, okay.
And he just wasn't. I mean, he's made some
horrible. What you're saying is Louis Riddick should have been negotiating the contract.
Anybody. I could have negotiated the contract. I mean,
you wouldn't have gave him $30 million, would you?
I probably would not have.
I see. Okay, I see what you're saying now.
You have to look. He was not looking at the team. He was not looking at the future. He was not looking at his salary cap.
You were just looking at keeping Matt Ryan.
He was looking at keeping Matt Ryan. And that's fine. But he definitely wasn't looking at the future. He definitely wasn't looking at how is that going to affect the team. And if you're the general manager, that's what you have to do. So I'm not going to give Matt Ryan, should he have taken, I would have taken the money. I don't know anybody else that would have turned out $30 million.
We know you
But
would have taken the
again,
money.
absolutely. But again, when you're the general manager, that's literally your only job is to think about what are the ramifications of me offering this money. And he didn't do that.
But the problem is here's the problem.
Ramifications.
Here's the problem. Nice word. Thank you for helping us put it in context. Now, here's the problem with that. This is the whole theory, and I think Curtis Roberts said this earlier, or it might have been Dante Armstrong, which I disagree with. We got to stop talking about who we going to replace them with.
Yeah.
All right. You don't think we could have got a rookie or a free agent quarterback for the Falcons to miss?
That.
No.
In our draft, I said we needed to draft.
No. Miss my point. I'm not talking about just then. I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about when Matt Ryan was given the contract. I'm going back then.
Mm-hmm.
Where who we gonna replace him with, right? Do you think we could have drafted a rookie or signed a free agent quarterback who got paid much less to miss the playoffs the last 3 years?
Absolutely.
Like Matt Ryan has missed the last 3 years. So we paid $30 million for a guy to miss the playoffs 3 years. We could have got a rookie to done the same thing.
Yeah.
We could have gotten a low costing free agent, QB free agent, to do the same thing. So this is why I'm saying who are we going to get? Look at what the Jets just did. They just drafted Sam Darnold 2 years ago. They've already replaced him with a replacement. This new age, this old thought, who are we going to replace him with? Get that out of the system. Because now that rookie quarterbacks are, and I know Matt Ryan wasn't a rookie when he signed, but there are rookies who are coming on the scene who can adjust to the NFL system faster because the NFL has moved to playing more like college football. So stop who we going to get. We can get we could get another non-mobile quarterback who's inaccurate and can't throw the deep ball. We could find many of them and lose in the playoffs 3 years in a row. We could find many of them. So with all this, who are we going to get, man? Please stop it. And that's why
we could have easily signed somebody else. We could have easily gone. Why free agents don't want to come here really escapes me. People do not want to sign in Atlanta, but they want to have a home here. But I don't understand that.
Now, in football is different.
It used to be like that. I think if we had the money, we could get whoever we needed. But like you said, Shelby, we just had some bad GM decisions.
We had some bad decisions.
Dimitroff was horrible. At the end of the day, Dimitroff was horrible.
Dimitroff was horrible.
Arthur Blank should have fired him when he fired Mike Smith.
Absolutely. He should have left at the exact same time.
Because whoever came in after that, nobody would have signed Matt Ryan to no.
Then we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah, because that wouldn't have been his boy.
Exactly.
All right, real quick, we spent a lot of time. We went in a whole different direction. All right, Shelby doesn't know where Julio's going to wind up. Here's the question is rolling on the ticker real quickly. Red, where does Julio wind up? Real quick.
I'm with you. Somewhat cold. I thought about Green Bay, but if we're smart, we'll move to the AFC. So hopefully that'll probably be the Patriots or the Ravens.
All right, real quickly, last thing, Maurice Thrower. When you pay a quarterback who's not good, your defense suffers.
You should know that.
And all of the money is being paid on offense with your quarterback and wide receiver. Your defense is going to suffer. You get what you pay for. Unfortunately, we didn't get what we paid for on offense. Only when Kyle Shanahan was here. But
if you paying $30 million for Matt Ryan, man, well, I need my money back in more. He ain't worth no $30 million.
Yeah,
15 at best.
All right, real quickly, we're going to do a quick short take because I think we mentioned this during the show as we go back to basketball real quickly. We've kind of done this and we've kind of hinted at NBA fans and the players feud real quickly. Just,
It's supposed to be our big topic.
Yeah, well, we've already hit it. 1 minute takes on this. 1 minute takes on this. Real quickly,
Okay.
I'm gonna put the shot clock on, and I'm gonna put you on the screen by yourself. Then when you go back into the 3-person screen, you got 15 seconds. And if you don't finish in 15, we hit the mute button. All right. That's how we got to do, because we got to get to the West
You
Conference.
heard that, Shelby?
Really? You're the only person I know that go over your minute. Go ahead,
All right,
Red.
here we go. Real quickly, 1 minute. NBA fans and players feud. Who wants at it first?
I'll go.
Well,
No,
let me
I
just set it up. Let me set it up. As you all know, fans, this past week we've had several instances where players were disrespected by fans. It started with Russell Westbrook leaving Philadelphia, the arena after he got hurt. Somebody threw popcorn on him, and of course, Russ was ready to beat him down. Then we had somebody at Madison Square Garden spit on Trae Young, where they spat over 50 Cent in the front row and hit Trae Young, and then also Ja Morant's family in Utah, point guard for the Memphis Grizzlies. His family, they were hit with racial epithets and all that stuff, things of that nature. And therefore, there was really a major situation between players and fans in these NBA arenas. And a lot of people saying something needs to be done with it. Well, about those situations. With that being said, Shelby, 1 minute on the clock. What are your thoughts about the NBA fans and the players feud? Go with it.
Just because you buy a ticket doesn't mean that you get access, and doesn't mean that if your team, or you can be a fan, boo somebody, but when your spit comes out of your mouth, that's when somebody need to come beat you up. And that's when we had the Malice in the Palace. And for people who don't remember the Malice in the Palace, that's when Ron Artest went in and decided to end it. And I know you probably shouldn't do that anymore, but I was okay with it. You got something to say? Say it to my face. I think we should file charges. I think people should start filing charges. Once you start filing charges and you have some real consequences, I think that stops.
All right. She did it in 47 seconds. So she showed you how to do it, Red. All right, Red, your thoughts on the NBA fans and players feud. You got it, Red. Go with it.
Okay. My thoughts on just gonna piggyback on what I said earlier. I think it's degrading. I think it's unclassy, and just perpetrates the issue of more jealous Euro men attacking black athletes. I think it's disgusting. I think it needs to be dealt with, and I think it really needs to stop. I applaud the players for coming out and speaking up on it. And I agree with Shelby. The punishment needs to be, as far as banning. No, I don't even believe in banning the fans. Don't ban the fans. Just make it mandatory that whoever perpetrates these issues should have to meet the player that they attack face to face, one-on-one, and let it be handled that way. You can have security around, you can have whoever around, but they should definitely have to come face to face with whatever player they say something or do something to it. Other than that, I'm good.
All right. Red made it less than 1 minute, still has 7 seconds to go. So he showed everybody he can stay within the time limit. And I'm just going to just say this real quickly, that they definitely need to do something about what's going on, because eventually there's going to be a player that's going to escape the security and beat somebody down. But I do hope real quickly that the players look at how much they have to lose. Because Ron Artest, now Meta World Peace, he was on Undisputed this past week, and he shared how much he lost because of the Malice in the Palace. He talked about how he lost his shoe contract with LA Gear. Y'all remember that shoe?
I can't believe you brought them up, man.
Yeah,
LA Gear.
Was that a big loss? Was that a big loss?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he had $1 million contract. He had $1 million contract.
Is that company even still around?
Yeah, because actually Karl Malone used to rock LA Gears. Who would have thought?
He said he had some other endorsement deals too.
Yeah, and he lost, and then he was blackballed in the NBA. So in essence, he was saying, in hindsight, he wished he had handled himself a bit differently and not gone to the stand. So, that's something that is hard to think about when you're in the moment, because you're thinking about the disrespect. And so many of us, we can't be judgmental. So many of us react to what happens to us before thinking. And if somebody spits on us, we ain't talking about turn the other cheek.
Absolutely not.
This battle I'm fighting is not
see,
yours, but it's
Shelby.
yours. We're not in that kind of mindset, so that happens sometimes. All right, let's go back. Let's talk a little bit basketball again as we move back into the Western Conference Finals. Let me cue the music back up so that everybody knows we're getting back into our basketball frame of mind. Back on this NBA playoffs, and we're going to talk Western Conference. We're going to go through it real quickly. We're going to save Reds Lakers for last. And let's go right into who would have ever thought a week later we would have been thinking about the Clippers possibly have gotten swept or even being down 2-0. They came back last night, won a very critical game 3 to give their team some life and a chance to keep the franchise together. With that being said, Shelby, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts about the Mavs being up 2-1 over the Clippers?
I didn't think the Clippers had a shot, to be honest with you. I thought they were going to get swept. Unfortunately, they're the lesser of the two teams in LA, and they sometimes play like it. I still think the Mavs win in 6. I don't think this goes 7 games. I do think the Clippers will win 2, but I still believe Dallas wins in 6.
All right, Red, what are your thoughts about the Clippers, who you despise?
I can't believe the Mavs let them get one on their home floor. How could you, Dallas? Come on. You're coming back home with all the momentum, and you give it right back up to the Clippers just like that. Now, I'm with Shelby. I still think you guys can end it in 6. Hopefully, you can end it in 5 if you win tomorrow. And then, the Clippers, when the pressure gets tight, they go home 3-1. Let's see how many shots Pandemic P makes then. Let's see what Kawhi and the rest of the Clipper chokers do then. It's easy when you just need one victory, you're down 2-0. But let's see what happens when you get down 3-1 and you need that game. It's going to be Clipper Nation all over again. So, but like I say, I'm with Shelby. I think it's going to be over with in 6. But if Dallas could win tomorrow, it'll probably be over with in 5.
All right. I'm going to put my best Red impersonation on where I'm riding the fence. All right. If the Clippers win tomorrow, they win in 6. If Dallas wins tomorrow, they win in 5. That's where I'm going.
Sounds like a very Red answer.
Yeah. So I think the Clippers will have too much pressure.
Actually, it does sound like
if the Mavericks win tomorrow to win a game 6, they'll be pressing, and they don't do well under pressure. So that means the series be over in 5. If the Clippers win tomorrow, they have all momentum on their side. I don't think Dallas will be able to compete with them because the Clippers will have new life, and I think they're going to take full advantage of that new life. In this series, the person who is killing the Mavericks and killed the Mavericks last night, besides Luka's free throw shooting, Luka balled out, but his free throw shooting was horrendous.
It was.
Is Porzingis. Porzingis is a detriment right now to the Mavs. And he is not helping Luka the way he's getting paid to help Luka. Like, there needs to be a missing persons alert for Porzingis because he is not showing up, and he needs to be that second guy to Luka to offset the pressure. Who would have thought Tim Hardaway Jr. would be the second guy right now?
Not me. Not the way you play with my Hawks.
Right. Well, he did play well with the Hawks, though. He did play well with the Hawks.
He did all right.
He did much better with the Hawks than he did with the Knicks the first time around.
Yeah, you're right. I give you that.
Yeah, but the whole point, Vincent said, wow, Rev. Oh, my Rev, that was so red. That's why I made the disclaimer. I made the disclaimer because I recognized I was
doing
a red move.
You made me proud, Rev.
But I explained my red move and why I felt the way I feel, because there are two different ways this thing can go.
Exactly.
In
There's
essence, I'm
nothing wrong with
saying,
explaining yourself when you
in,
have
es-
two different takes. I'm
in
not
essence,
judging you at all, Real, at
well,
all.
I actually do a
No,
better
no, no,
job
no.
explaining my takes though.
Yeah,
But
because
anyway,
Red, you change in the middle just because what somebody says and then you switch it. So it's not really the same thing, but okay.
but it
You
had
want
a
to believe
touch
it's the
of
same
it.
thing.
It
It
is.
had a touch of it. It had a touch of it. But that was very reddish. All right. But in essence, let me just say it this way: whoever wins game 4 wins the series. How about that? All right.
Yep, I think we all agreed on that.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the next series. Blazers, Nuggets. Nuggets up 2-1 after losing game 1, and they have taken control of the series. Game 4 is coming up in Portland. Red, go with it. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know if they taking control just yet. To me, this series got a more of a chance of going up and down, back and forth. Because I personally thought Portland was going to come out and win game 3, so they could take a 2-1 lead, especially the way they performed on Denver's home court in the first game. Now, I wasn't shocked Denver took game 2, but I definitely thought Portland was going to come out and take game 3. Now, Portland fighting for their playoff lives because they lose the second game at home. This series is over with. So I really expect Portland to win tonight and even the series up. And now we really got a best of 5 going on with the next few games. So to me, I don't think anybody is taking control of this series unless Denver wins tonight. Then you're right, Real. But like I say, I still think Portland got some fight in them. They on their home court. They're not gonna go down that easy. We still
Who wins the
talking
series?
about
Who wins the series?
Portland because they're gonna win tonight.
And how many?
6.
All right, Shelby. Do you have Portland in 6?
No, I have Denver and I have Denver in 7. I have Denver in 7. I think it's going to go 7 games just because these teams are so evenly matched. And I have to agree with Red again. I did not. I mean, this is a toss up. This is one of those. This 3-6. It hasn't really been this close, but this is a toss up series. I think it goes 7 games, and I think I'm going to go with Denver in 7.
I'm going with Denver in 6. Denver in 6. I think Jokic has the formula. He is abusing the other European guy for Portland.
Nurkic.
Nurkic. Yeah, thank you. Nurkic. I'm not good with those foreign names. And he's fouled him out the past 2 games. And Terry Stotts, the head coach for Portland, is going to have to make some type of adjustment because obviously Nurkic not guard Jokic. And as long as Jokic can have his way and break down Portland's defense, Portland doesn't have a chance. So this is why I'm going to go with Denver in 6 because the Joker, who will probably be this year's MVP, is going to be the X factor for why this series goes in Denver's favor in 6. All right. Let's move on to the next series, Jazz and Grizzlies. We know that the series tied 1-1. The Grizzlies won the first game in large part because Donovan Mitchell was scheduled to play, but then they shut him down right before the game. And then when Donovan Mitchell came back for game 2, the Jazz beat the Grizzlies pretty badly. So with that being said, Red, you're sleeping on this series. So
man, I'm sorry. We talking about Utah and Memphis?
Yeah, before you go to sleep, I imagine you're going in the Jazz's direction, and if so, in how many games?
This is a gentleman's sweep. 5. Only reason Memphis won that first game because for some crazy reason they decided not to play Spider Mitchell. Those crazy reasons are over with. Utah is back. Utah finna win the next 3 games. This series is over with. Memphis should have never made the playoffs. It should be Golden State playing right now. Steph, I'm still disappointed in you, brother. Forcing us to watch this boring old series. But good game. I like that 47 points by Ja Morant. That brother is a force to be reckoned with in the next coming years. I'm not ready to see you right now, Ja Morant, because I'm not ready to see your Memphis Grizzlies play. You're boring. I want to see Golden State. But that being said, Utah's going to end these boys. 5 games.
Shelby, now just to go on record, you can no longer say on this show, I never agree with Red. Because on this show, you've already agreed with him twice. So I am a Trinitarian. I'm a Trinitarian. One for the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. Will you agree with Red for the third time on this show? Jazz in 5.
Come on, baby.
One more time. One more time, Red. One more time. I think Jazz in 6. I think Jazz in 6. I do think the Jazz wins. I love John Morant. I think his game is amazing, but he can't put the whole team on his back. And
he tried.
I really hope that he gets on a better team in the coming years. Because he's outstanding. He's an outstanding player, and it's really sad that he's stuck in Memphis, that nobody gets to see him. I mean, I've never watched the Memphis Grizzlies until I am. Thank you, Vincent. I need The Exorcist because I've agreed with Red 3 times. But I do. I think I love Morant. I love his game, and I really have enjoyed watching him. But bless his heart, the Jazz are just too much. They got the first one. I was really believing when they got the first, but when Jazz took the second one, I was like, it's over. I think it's 6. Jazz in 6.
All right, and I'm going to agree with Red. Jazz in 5, with Donovan Mitchell back in on the court. It's not going to be close. John Morant is definitely showing people that he's the real deal. You know, when he went toe to toe with Steph and ultimately beat Steph, that let everybody know Ja Morant is that dude. With that being said, the Jazz, they just have too much talent. They have a system. They have too many go-to people. And, you know, Morant, he can't do it by himself. Hopefully, during the course of his time in Memphis, they can get somebody from the draft because they're not going to get a big-time free agent to sign him.
No way.
That's the problem with the small market team. But I do believe that, you know, if they get somebody who can go alongside him and play with them, then he has a chance to, you know, make some noise, but he won't win any championship. And he'll probably be that next player or one of the players in about 4 or 5 years who wants to play somewhere else, forming some type of super team somewhere else. All right. Let's end it.
We'll be waiting on him.
With Shelby's favorite team. The Lakers. The Lakers take control 2-1 after losing the first game. And we know that Chris Paul got hurt in the second quarter of the first game, which has compromised his play. He is being a soldier, but unfortunately, being a soldier has not contributed to the Suns being on top of this series. So they're down 2-1 with game 4 on tomorrow night in the Valley of the Sun. So Shelby, I'm going to start with you first. Who wins the series?
With Chris Paul's injury, I don't see them pulling it out. I just don't. And it pains me to say Lakers in 6.
Lakers in 6. So you're giving the Suns one more chance to win the game.
Yeah.
Which game do you think they win? Which game do you think they win?
What? 4? No, 5. I think when they go back to Phoenix, they win, but I don't think they win anymore. It's too much. You don't have the floor general that Chris Paul is. He does add a lot to the team, and when you don't, I know, right? Like saying Candyman. It's like agreeing with Red is like saying Candyman 3 times in the mirror. It just doesn't feel comfortable. But I just don't. When the Lakers won that last game, I was like, it's over. Phoenix is done. Lakers, as much as it sucks.
All right, so mostly everybody is going along with Shelby. Lakers in 6. Red, are you going to give the Suns another victory, or are you taking the Lakers in 5?
Nope, not giving them another victory. But I will say, we're gonna look back on CP3's career. I'm not sure who said this on their page this week, because I think I thought it was you, Shelby, at first, but it might not have been you. But somebody was saying how he might be the unluckiest superstar
Yes.
probably in NBA history. And that being said, this dude, yeah, really, I mean, because each year he has a team that we're not expecting to do anything. And
Mhm.
whenever the play, I don't know if it's just him playing in May or June, but then I thought about that. But then we were playing in the bubble last year, and that was in August and September, and he still got hurt. So
Yeah.
I just don't. This dude, whenever the playoffs start, if you got Chris Paul on your team, you might need to have a backup point guard, at least a backup to at least know that both of those guys can carry you to the finish line. Chris, if CP3 go down, I still got my guy right here on the bench. I don't know if you need CP3. Well, CP3 and Rondo ain't gonna be on the same team, but you need somebody of those calibers
Yeah.
because, like I say, if you lose one, you got the other, and you really ain't missing much because CP3 is just so important to his team's success, even at this late juncture of his career. He is so important to his team's success. And once you don't have him, you
Yeah.
become a completely different team. And that's why the Suns aren't going to win another game in this series. Lakers in 5. Next.
Yeah, I have to agree with that take. Devin Booker is more human.
Immature.
Well, I'm gonna say more human when CP3 is not on the court. He's a bit easier to stop. The one thing about Devin Booker, he's a lethal scorer, but the one thing that makes him guardable is that he doesn't have the 3-point range like Steph and Damian Lillard. So it makes it easier for teams to be able to double team him. And then DeAndre Ayton, his field goal percentage has been wonderful, but he's not as good as people really make him out to be because as soon as he gets a double team, he kind of freezes up. He's not that dominant post guy. He's now, to his credit, he's only in year 3, but he needs to be a lot more dominant to be able to compete day to day with the Andre Drummonds of the world in terms of being physical. He's a better player than Andre Drummond, but to be
You think
physical,
so?
yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, Andre Drummond got buttery hands. His hands are not that good, but DeAndre Ayton is a better player. But AD kind of put Ayton in his place a little bit because, like AD, he'd been doing what he should have been doing. Like he'd been attacking the rim. I
Bubble
mean,
gum.
yeah, I mean, if he would dedicate just one summer in the weight room, that dude could be all world. He could be everything that people have pubbed him up to be. Devin DeBarge Booker. All right, man. That's funny.
That's how he played the other night.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going with the Lakers in 5 as well. I just can't see them winning without CP3 being serviceable. So with that being said, that ends our NBA talk, and we're getting to the end of episode 191. Shelby, thank you so much for joining us once again. And you had a much larger role since Coach was not in, and you gave us our numbers. Did a phenomenal job for that. So we thank you for being with us, and we look forward to you being with us for episode 193 in 2 weeks. With that being said, let's close it out with you have the right. Who has the right to do what, when, where, and how? Who wants at it first?
Ladies first.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with one of my favorites. Jalen Rose, you have the right to continue to be a grown man and stick up for Kwame Brown against Stephen A. Smith. It was a beautiful thing to see. And thank you for showing that let's stop dogging out our black men just because you think he's not what you thought he was supposed to be. And Jalen Rose said, no, I refuse to dog out this black man who played for 13 years in the league. He's not a bum. He is not a scrub. He played for 13 years and he made, what, $63 million. So clearly, he's not a bum. And so, Jalen Rose, you have the right to be a grown man.
All right. Thank you for that one. Redrick, who has the right to do what, when, where, and how?
Mike Trout, you have the right to seek a trade, the man. Dude, it's getting to the point. I'm starting to feel sorry for you. I'm starting to feel sorry for that team. You are never going to be looked at in the MLB echelons as one of these great, great players until you get out of Anaheim. I don't know. Ask for a trade to the Dodgers. Ask for a trade to the Yankees, Red Sox. Even now, you can take Tampa Bay Rays, but dude, you have got to play in the playoffs. How you been in the league? How long and ain't never been in the playoffs? Mike Trout, you have a right to get out of the Angels organization and hype your name up even further because you're too great a player to be stuck in that bad perennial organization. Hopefully, we could take you in Atlanta, but your salary too big.
Yeah.
And I'll close us out. Atlanta Hawks, you have the right to close out the New York Knicks on this week so that I can at least get a chance to go to a few more basketball games in person. You have the right to do it. All right?
That's a selfish right, Rio.
Hey, I don't mind being selfish because I've been missing going to see some basketball in person. And by me going in person, I have a greater appreciation for what Nate McMillan is doing.
Yeah.
I have a greater appreciation for the way Trae Young is playing because I was able to see things in person that I had not been able to see watching them on television because you see the whole court and you see how they're moving and see how they're rotating. And it was just definitely wonderful to see. And I have a greater appreciation for this Hawks team. So I'm not going to say they don't have a fighting chance against the Sixers in the second round. I'm still going to pick the Sixers. But if the Hawks somehow pulled up the upset, I won't be completely surprised as I would have been prior to yesterday.
Hey, Shelby, we got to figure out a plan to kidnap Joel Embiid.
We can do that.
We got to get rid of Embiid. We got more than a fighting
We
chance.
can do that.
All right. Thanks, Vincent, man, for the show love. And also thank you, man, for repping as the VP of the Revanite Nation and also giving us shout out for safe weekend. Indeed, everybody be safe during the holiday weekend. Rev and Shelby, y'all have the right to get a set of funk and wild. What's that? Wagnalls? Wild
Wagnalls Encyclopedia. You didn't have a fucking Wagnalls Encyclopedia?
No, I don't. I've never heard of it.
Everybody has a fucking Wagnalls Encyclopedia. I may still have it downstairs at my mama's house.
Wow, I had the green and white ones. That wasn't Wagnalls.
Man,
Yeah, that was a
my
fucking
grandma,
Wagnalls.
my
That was
grandma had
Wagnalls?
so many different sets.
The green and white one?
Yeah.
The white with the green on it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I never. All right, well, I
That's
never
the
knew what it was
publishing
called.
company.
A
Yeah,
I never
speak
knew
and
what-
say. A speak and say. The one that's you pull out and it spells cat and dog. That's a good idea. Christmas, we can give that to Red.
Red
I
has
knew
the
it was a
right.
joke. I knew it was something coming with that. I don't even know why I listened to it.
Red has a right to stupendously remain studious on his verbiage use on the show. Thank you, Mama
One
Harris.
bad English day. That's the first day I don't mess up some words. I thought y'all was just waiting for this day.
And then we got Thomas looks at Watch It's Time to Go Armadillo Wrestling and Aardvark Roping and Kitty Hawk.
Shelby, you gotta find that book. Shelby, we gonna catch you, Tommy. Shelby, look for that book you using. We gotta find that book you using. It's
Oh,
a
my
book out
goodness.
there.
Yeah, okay. I think it was
We gonna
called
catch you, Thomas.
I think, Vincent, it was called Encyclopedia Britannica. I think it was the other way around.
I think Vincent had hooked on dummies.
Oh, man, here you go. You know they coming for you. Like they should come for you. All right, everybody.
I'm about to this being Vincent. Why y'all take it up for him?
Oh, man,
Vincent can handle himself. Y'all,
All right,
I told
everybody.
y'all gonna be double teaming me.
Here we go, man. Let me just say this real
This ain't
quickly.
your day. This ain't your day, Red.
Thank you,
This ain't your
everybody,
day.
for watching episode 191 of the Red and Red Sports Show. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Y'all continue, if you don't mind.
I'll be
Send up
waiting
a
for your.
prayer for
I'll
Coach.
be waiting for your response on my page, Vincent.
Send up a prayer for Coach. She didn't get back with us, so
Yeah,
he
man.
must not still be doing well. So we want to lift him up in prayer. All right, everybody, be blessed, be safe this holiday weekend, and we are out.